What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, leading up to the launch of Modern Warfare 3, I do have a few more commentaries I want to go ahead and put together. Some being a little bit more positive and some being a tad bit more negative. Obviously, you guys know on this channel, we like to discuss both sides. I'm never going to just be completely biased to one side. I'm going to always give my 110% honest opinion, which clearly, as all humans, fluctuate. So we have a lot of things to go ahead and discuss. But today I wanted to discuss a bit more of a potential negative with you guys when it comes to the time to kill in Modern Warfare 3. I haven't really seen too many people go ahead and discuss this topic, and it might not be a big deal at all, but I thought it would be fun to go ahead and bring it up, just add some food for thought for you guys to, just spark some really fun, interesting conversations. But obviously, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys do enjoy what you hear today and you want to hear some more content revolving around Call of Duty or even X-Defined, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. We are on the grind to 45k subscribers before the launch of Modern Warfare 3, so if you want to support this channel, like I said, go ahead and subscribe. And last but not least, if you guys want to see some live streams, we do stream pretty much every day besides Sundays over on Kick. You guys can find the link to that channel as well as all my other socials like Twitter and Discord down in the description of this video. Alright, so if you've been following my channel since the beta, obviously, you know my opinion about the time to kill is a bit mixed, especially when it comes down to the actual, servers that we're playing on. I feel like that did have a pretty big impact on, my personal opinion on the time to kill. And I did say that I was going to reserve my official opinion until I can get hands-on with the game when the servers are actually functioning. But I do want to touch upon this still because, I think it's an interesting topic. And I do believe that a lot of you guys will have some pretty good things to bring up in the comment section about it. But for those who don't know, Modern Warfare 3's time to kill is, I think, the second longest time to kill that we have ever seen in Call of Duty history. And honestly, as a hardcore COD guy, I do prefer a little bit of a quicker time to kill. And Black Ops Cold War was a nice little middle ground for me personally. It took 150 HP. And it was still there. You could still maneuver. You could still, engage and feel like you're getting in real gunfights and, avoid harsh situations because you don't die in 2 seconds. But it wasn't, really, really long like Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 was the longest time to kill COD that we have ever had. And Modern Warfare 3 is pretty much right smack dab in the middle between Black Ops 4 and Black Ops Cold War. And I would argue that it's honestly leaning a lot more towards Black Ops 4. Again, this isn't a bad thing because I remember going back and playing Black Ops 4 all the time. You guys can look back on this channel. I actually used to stream it a decent amount as well. Recently, not back when it was, in its prime, but, recently when I guess is a bit more dead, especially on PC. It's really hard to find lobbies, but every once in a while you can find lobbies. It's still a fun game. And again, it's nothing wrong with that time to kill. If anything, the time to kill is making the game faster. Because let's be real here, Black Ops 4 is probably one of the fastest paced boots on the ground games we have ever played. And I think Modern Warfare 3, the game that you're watching right here, is coming up to be competition, but I still don't think it's going to pass Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 was ridiculous. Like, I really do believe they wanted to make basically the jetpack vibes, but on, in a boots on the ground game. I really do think that was the whole purpose of Black Ops 4 because it was so freaking fast. But the thing about Black Ops 4 is that the game had 5 individuals on a team instead of 6. To balance out, obviously, the time to kill. Having a long time to kill, yeah, it's great to have 6 people in the lobby, especially when you want to play with friends and you have a usual 6 stack. Call of Duty has always been 6v6, so it's a bit strange to lower it to 5v5. But it helped balance out the game tremendously. It made for less stacking, less BS, and more genuine fun engagements. And also, on top of, the 5v5 gameplay, the map designs, the map layouts, were really dang small. Yeah, of course, Black Ops 4 had its fair share of, I guess, larger scaled maps, but they were nowhere close to the larger maps that you see in any other Call of Duty game. The game really wanted to hyper-focus extraordinarily fast-paced gameplay. But, small maps played a good role with 150 HP. Not Black Ops Cold War 150 HP, but Black Ops 4 150 HP, the beefy HP. It played a good role because long-range engagements didn't happen as frequently. Yeah, they were still there, and yes, of course, you had plenty of weapons to go ahead and engage with to give you fun long-range engagements. But 9 times out of 10, you weren't going to be sitting there chunking away at someone across the map. A lot of the time, you can push up to them, be up in their face, and you have your engagements pretty much at point blank. which 9 times out of 10 cancels out the whole 150 HP thing, unless you're going up against, maybe 2-3 people when they're stacking. Then yes, it's a pain in the butt. But again, you don't feel it as much as you do when you're shooting people across the map. But it worked nicely in Black Ops 4, it honestly did. And here we are in Modern Warfare 3, and they're pretty much mimicking almost all the fundamentals of Black Ops 4 without actually bringing forth those really key fundamentals that allowed, this really long time to kill to work so nicely. Again, first and foremost, we're playing 6v6. So a lot of the point-blank engagements, you would think that one player doesn't make that much of a difference, but it really does, especially with how people play with one another, communicate with one another, team play. It's drastically different. And again, we're playing in a game that doesn't have any specialist bonuses or anything of that sort, so it's not really any cheese, no ways that you can just mow down a bunch of enemies. Back in Black Ops 4, you could bring out the minigun or the Tempest. It's so many different things that you could bring out to just mow down all the people in front of you. Modern Warfare 3, you have to strictly rely on your gun skill. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's not a single problem in the world with that, right? Honestly, relying on your gun skill is 10 trillion times more enjoyable for me. Even though I do enjoy going off on some pretty crazy feeds using the specialist cheese, but I definitely prefer the gun skill. It's more traditional to Call of Duty. But going up against 6 people at times feels a bit stressful. It really does make for some rough, obnoxious engagements, and a lot of the times, yeah, I can pull it off. You've seen gameplay on this channel multiple times where I'm getting 3-4 kills. But again, it depends on who I'm versing, their skill bracket, so on and so forth. If I'm versing people who are equal of my skill level, if not better, that's a pretty hard thing to do, I probably wouldn't even think I'm going to get, if I see 3 people run up in my face, I'm not going to consider killing them all. My main objective while seeing 3 people is, okay, who should I take out? Right? I know I'm going to die. It's not a thought in my mind thinking, oh, I'm going to survive this and I'm going to get a crazy kill streak and I'm going to be... No, none of that stuff runs through my mind. When I see 3 people, I think, okay, I'm dying. It's guaranteed I'm going to die. So who should I take with me to make my teammates' lives better? Whereas in a 5v5 match, I feel like that's less likely to happen, and you're less likely to see 3 to 4 people stacked at once, You're more likely to see 2 people than you are to see 3 in a 5v5 compared to a 6v6. And once again, I know people are going to be like, oh, that's a 1-person difference, but it really is massive. It's a game changer, and it really could be the deciding factor if you're going to win a gunfight or not. And again, I got to make it very clear that I'm not saying 150 HP is god-awful and that it shouldn't be in the game, because I'm all for it. I'm just trying to produce some food for thought for you guys to get you to think a little bit, because I do understand that the servers were rough. And I am definitely expecting the time to kill to feel so much smoother at launch. But even playing the beta for Black Ops Cold War, which had 150 HP as well, the time to kill was still shorter. I don't necessarily know if the time to kill is feeling so long and chunky because of the servers, or if it's just simply because, once again, they're pushing more towards the Black Ops 4 side of things in a game that doesn't really have too many Black Ops 4 fundamentals. But moving on, it's not just 5v5, but also the map selection we have here. Like I said earlier with Black Ops 4, the mass majority of the maps were really small. And even medium, but the medium size didn't even feel like a classic medium map for Call of Duty. Everything felt so condensed in Black Ops 4. Like I said, you can find combat within seconds without even trying. And like I said, that leads to more point-blank engagements, which doesn't cancel out 150 HP, obviously, but it makes it feel less obnoxious. But in Modern Warfare 3, we're playing on classic Modern Warfare 2 maps, which again is nothing wrong, right? I love Modern Warfare 2 2009, and the map selection might be one of my favorite map selections. But the maps are big. And I've been saying this since day one, and I know people are going to have problems with these maps because the current Call of Duty generation really enjoys stuff like, Shipment and Rust and, Shootout. They like really small, condensed maps. Black Ops 4 was the perfect game for the majority of the new generation of COD players. But back in the day in Modern Warfare 2 2009, the massive majority of the maps were really large. You had your select maps like, Scrapyard, High Rise, Rust. You had a few that were pretty, condensed, but the mass majority of them were pretty open, big, a lot of variety and ways to play them. But yeah, that's amazing. I loved it back in the day, but in a game with 150 HP, you are going to be witnessing a lot of long-range engagements, and long-range engagements in this game is where the time to kill really starts to tug. You know, like I said, when you're up close and personal, yeah, it's not as obnoxious, besides the fact that it's 6v6 and you're more likely to see 3 to 4 people stacked compared to in a 5v5 game where the majority of the time you'll see 2 people stacked. But now we have big maps where you're going to be constantly trying to beam people across the map, and you're going to feel that time to kill. It's extraordinarily obvious at that point. And I think that was one of the biggest complaints with the time to kill. Not really, the 5v5 complaint. I just wanted to bring that up to make you guys think about it. And, like I said, go down in the comment section if you think 5v5 is a good idea or not. But realistically, I think the size of the maps is really what's making people angry, because they're getting in a lot of long-range engagements where it's not that bad. We've always had long-range engagements in COD. But in Modern Warfare 3, it feels a bit strange, a bit odd, because it's almost, like I said, it feels like they took Black Ops 4 fundamentals and put us in OG Modern Warfare 2 2009, where it just doesn't really fit too well. Of course, this can be adjusted, this can be changed around. But I really wanted to bring this up as well because, again, that plays a massive role into why the time to kill feels a bit off, because 9 times out of 10, your engagements are going to be at a bit of range. And I feel like that's why everybody always gravitated towards Rust and, High Rise, obviously, over Favela in the State, because with Favela in the State, you had a lot more long-range engagements. Of course, unless you go into the middle of Favela or play Domination or something like that and run an SMG. But if you're on the rooftops or if you're in a state and you're trying to push up to the building, a lot of the times you're shooting across the map, which will, right off the bat, make you feel that 150 HP. At the end of the day, I'm going to stick to my word and, obviously wait until the game drops to really critique the time to kill, because I feel like I can't give it a fair shot until, obviously the servers are fixed up and they're good to go. But I thought it would be still fun to go ahead and critique it and, again, produce some food for thought, because these concepts, I really do believe that this is why the time to kill feels a bit off, not just because of the servers, because, again, like I said earlier, I went and played Black Ops Cold War during that beta, and the time to kill is 150, and it still felt a lot shorter and more, I guess, consistent. So we'll see as time goes along. But once the game drops, if these problems still occur, I think they should just obviously quicken it up just a little bit to Cold War time to kill. They don't have to remove 150 at all, not even in the slightest, because I enjoy it. I think it's great to have these longer engagements because it does make it a bit more, obviously intense for competitive combat. But if it's going to be in a game where, they're trying to mimic a lot of Black Ops 4 aspects and they're going to put it on Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps along with the 6v6 experience, if it doesn't work out at launch and it still feels very inconsistent and kind of obnoxious, I think changing it to Black Ops Cold War's time to kill would be an easy fix. But obviously, as always, go down in the comments section, leave your opinions down below. What do you guys think about all these topics? Do you think 5v5 and Modern Warfare 3 will be a good idea? Or do you think they should keep 6v6? Honestly, as much as I think it will be better for the time to kill, I still think 6v6 is the way to go. Again, I'm a hardcore COD guy. I've been playing since day one. And honestly, having a 6-man party is always a fun thing. Being down a friend is not really always enjoyable. And, it's not the best of the best situation to be in. So, honestly, I think keeping 6v6 will be fine. But the time to kill is still a little wonky. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think it was the map size, the player count? What do you think is the big, or even the servers? Regardless of what it is, what do you think is the biggest factor for the time to kill feeling a bit strange in Modern Warfare 3? But as always, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a dislike if you hated this video. Also, subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified for more content just like this. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time, anything like Call of Duty or X-Defiant. And last but not least, we will be live today over on Kick. So if you guys want to check that out, the link to my stream is down in the description of this video. That stream goes live around 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on our next one. Peace out.